Hello, everyone. Katie Smith here. So great to be with you guys today. Um, so, we're going to talk about today roles and different intervention techniques. So, social workers will play many different roles as they work with their families. And they'll also use multiple skills and techniques to intervene with their clients, such as observing them, focusing on them, confronting, and so on and so forth. And so, every single family that a social worker intervenes with, the same skill set and the same intervention techniques and the same roles will not be used every time. So they're definitely tailored to that family and to that situation. So we're going to look at a family situation and use one of those intervention techniques that we talked about called metaphor. And this is using a figure of speech to kind of highlight the family's problem and how to fix it. So we're going to talk about Anne. And Anne is a mother who has had many men come in and out of the house, live with them, boyfriends, and so on and so forth. And she's having issues with her daughter, Kayla. Well, during Kayla's teen years. So Kayla is 15 years old. In the past, the family said they have had a lot of instability in their years. And in the past, the family has had to bum off of other friends' couches in case to have places to sleep at night. And the issue at hand is that Anne is noticing that Kayla has been sneaking out a lot at night, and she's very cold towards her mother whenever Anne sees her. And there's just not a good, positive relationship there. So myself as a social worker, I told Anne, I said, and I'm not calling Kayla a dog by any means, but just think, Miss Anne, just think about a dog and a dog owner. Usually the most hostile dogs are the ones who are left outside. They're chained up. They're outside in the elements. Usually these are the dogs that are more scary. They're more aggressive. You kind of, tense up a little bit whenever you walk by them. And if you ever notice, they really don't have much of a bond with their owner. You never really see the owner outside playing ball with these dogs. You never really see them interacting with them. And there's just a lot of instability and a lot that dog does not know. And thus the reaction is that they're aggressive and agitated. However, Miss Anne, I think about my dog. His name is Party, and he is on my top list of responsibilities, and he knows it. He always knows what time I will be home from work. He knows what time he eats in the morning. He knows whenever it's time to go to bed because he sees me change my clothes, and he's aware. But because of all of that, he is the friendliest and he is the most loving animal. He also always comes whenever he's called. It never really has been never has really ran away. And hasn't really ever had a habit of running off other than, his cantankerous, adventurous puppy years. And so, Miss Anne, in that same way, what Kayla really needs is some stability. And her behavior will kind of follow after she gets those initial needs met, just like dogs. And it's kind of like an animal instinct. And so just being aware that Kayla has needs that need to be met and has some stability issues that she needs resolved from her mother to get this stuff kind of taken care of. In the same voice, social workers stimulate change by using different roles in their practice. For instance, a social worker can use a more empathetic role, and that is usually going to be used at the beginning of the change process phase to establish a bond and really identify and reinforce those family strengths in order just to let the family know that you're hearing them and to create that good working relationship. In the teacher role is going to usually be used in the intervention phase to teach skills and to give information on places that the families are lacking skill sets. So if that's parenting skills need to be taught, or if that's DHR said that the family just needs to keep a tidier housekeeping skills. Another role that can be used is the consultant role, which is when a family may need help with a specific problem. Say a family is firing on all cylinders except for they do not know how to parent a toddler. And all the challenges that come with a toddler. A consultant would give information just on helping in that area. In the enabler role, helping and supporting is whenever a family can have help and support whenever in areas that they didn't know even existed for them. So you're enabling them to get help and to receive that help. So, for instance, let's talk about a family with a child with a mental illness. We connect them with a support group that they didn't know would potentially help them, but it does. Another one as the mobilizer that helps getting all the social networks and the systems all involved for a certain goal, for a certain treatment plan for the individual, for the client. And for that, I think about my experiences as the school social worker. I would often be the mobilizer on getting treatment plans for children with ADHD and getting the school system on board, getting the family on board, getting the mental health treatment services on board. In the mediator role, that helps to address conflict as a middleman when it arises. And again, I think back to my job in the school system. Often I would be called in to be a mediator between the parent and the principal, or parent and the teacher, or whatever, to be sure that both sides were being heard in a good way. And the last role that I want to talk about today is the role of an advocate. A social worker has the responsibility to advocate on behalf of clients and populations to be sure that their needs are met. So, I think about a lot today, there's a lot of political activism for funds for veteran rehabilitation. So think about all those VA funds. Somebody had to advocate for them to see that reform and to see that change. So definitely whenever social workers see a need, it is our job to meet that need, however in our possibility and however in our tool belt that we can.